The level of play in the NAIA is excellent, and you don't have to look very far before you find really top-notch athletes competing against one another from multiple schools, and it really provides a nice playing platform for a student athlete.
Student athletes should know this: the environment is balanced. Academics, athletics, and character development are part and parcel of the NAIA experience. No tricks, no gimmicks.
The coaches expect excellence, they expect performance, in as much as any other organization. And I think the student athletes have a chance to have a much better individualized experience with a small college experience than they would at other places. And that's, to me, what really separates and differentiates the NAIA from other organizations.
We have the opportunity in the NAIA to deal with the individual, to make sure that there is a spot where you can take your interest and your talents and fit in a lot of cases in the NAIA in a team atmosphere, and find others that you share common interest in. And you know, when you look at what college is about, it's about growing into that person that you're going to be for the rest of your life. And I think there's nowhere quite like NAIA athletics that offers so many young people that opportunity.
If a student needs help with a personal relationship on campus, they can go talk to their coach about it, and the coaches want to engage them on it. It's part of the whole person process. If you are at one of those schools that have the big blue disc laying out there, there are so many rules in place that you can't get to the students to help them where they need it the most, and that's in personal matters as it relates to being an 18-year-old and being in college.
You know, as I work with our coaches and I work with our administrators across our schools, I find that deep-rooted care in the student athlete, and it has to do with all levels. Obviously they want good soccer players, they want great volleyball players, but they want them to achieve in the classroom, but I think they also want to find professions for them. They want them to succeed after they graduate, and I think that I find that our coaches incorporate life skills throughout everything they do.
Well, I don't think character-driven athletics and character in sports is just important in colleges. I just think that it's great what the NAIA is doing, is furthering what we all realize is important in youth and the development in youth, and continuing that as a major emphasis during their college years.
The schools in the NAIA, with the commitment from the faculty athletic representative and working with the athletic department, really ensures that there is a real commitment from each school to make sure that the academic success is really important as well for those student athletes.
You know, when someone once defined character as doing things when nobody's watching. And I think that's kind of a fun way to take a look at this. Character needs to permeate everything that a person believes in. It needs to be the founding core, the fundamental foundation of what a person is going to experience, not just in 4 years of intercollegiate athletics, but throughout their life. And to have that continually emphasized as a point of emphasis in each and everything that we do within the NAIA, to me, is a valuable lesson far beyond any of the schoolwork that student athlete may have to endure over a period of 4 years.
The fact is that sport reveals character. I'd love to think that sport helped build character, and in many cases it does, but it sure reveals it. And you know, so many times in higher education, we're looking to develop those areas in young people where maybe they're a little lacking. We have a great opportunity to do this, and the NAIA has been such a great leader in terms of the Champions of Character initiative and the way we focus into your behavior in athletics, because that translates into everything in your life.
I think what I've really noticed, and maybe I'll draw upon my involvement with national tournaments in Sioux City through volleyball and basketball, is the character among the teams at the tournament. When we first started out 11 years ago at Champions of Character, it seemed like teams were very segmented. They came as a team, they hung out as a team, and they did everything as a team. I don't see that as much anymore. I really see that community atmosphere coming out, and I think that shows character. I think that character isn't always just what happens when the clock is running in between the lines. I think it's what you're doing outside of the competitive arena in your social life and how you interact with other student athletes, and I've really seen that grow and become a staple and something that's really special about the NAIA at our national championships.
I think they craft a part of who the student is. Parents raise their children a certain way, and they do a great job, but the extension of that is their coach in high school, their coach in college, teaching them other parts of life. And one that I think of is a young man named Brett Burchard, who has done basketball skills drills at the NAIA National Tournament. He was a college athlete at Taylor University, played basketball there. He then became a graduate assistant at Taylor under Coach Paul Patterson, and they have crafted, both his father and Paul Patterson, a core of who Brett is. In his off time, he spends it at a basketball retreat center downtown Phoenix for all kinds of kids, all kinds of socioeconomic environments, and he's trying to impact those kids the same way his father and Paul Patterson impacted him.
When I think of character, I think of integrity, personal integrity and accountability. There's no greater opportunity to develop your integrity and your accountability than playing athletics, playing sports. And the ability to grow yourself as a person by the way you react to situations, really maybe the best lab is the athletic venue or the athletic competition.
Character is critical because ultimately it shapes everything you do. Because the NAIA intentionally teaches character, student athletes in the NAIA are a step ahead of their peers in other associations who might not otherwise get that daily guidance.
One of the most important persons in a student athlete's life is his or her coach. That starts in the elementary school and continues on up. That person is a role model. That person is the bellwether for what actions are going to be acceptable or not acceptable going forward. That coach is so important to the development of a person because when you think about it, day in and day out, the coach has more interaction with that student and that student athlete than anyone else does while that student athlete's at the university or the college. So to have that coach know that we emphasize character, that we emphasize the 5 core values on a daily basis just continues to make that student athlete a better person once they graduate from the university. I can't even begin to tell you the number of examples where we have seen a freshman come in who maybe had a different look in what they wanted to do and maybe a different approach to life, and then they see the value of teamwork. They realize to treat winning and losing as imposters, and that it's the sportsmanship, it's the helping build the team, it's what can I do to make this team better rather than what can I do to make myself better. Those examples, there's probably 60,000 of them this year happening within the NAIA. So our emphasis on that is really what makes the difference, I think, in a student athlete's life.